Yeah, good morning to you and your listeners too.
Well, first, the media budget review will be presented tomorrow. Before we come to expectation, what will be your own response to that question that the finance minister has posed on his Facebook page? Do you feel that progress has been made, the needed impact is being made on your businesses with the policies that were announced in the budget proper?
Thank you very much. With the presentation that he made, I think that is what he referenced on his Facebook. And we say, yes, so far so good. But then there's a second step that we need to take to feel the impact. Every Ghanaian needs to feel that impact. So what has happened is that the FX, or the foreign exchange, has been stabilized. Where it is now, businesses are able to plan. But unfortunately, we would have expected that it go down further. But when it gets down, it's going to disturb government business, how to raise money to pay salaries, and even the private sector is going to have a big deal of problems in financing their salaries. So where it is now, we should be there, maintain it, and then gradually it goes down. Maybe every month or every 2 months, we see the city gaining more value. So until the point where we get to maybe 9 cities or 8 cities, and then we can be there. So even when it fluctuates, it will be between 8 and 10 cities. That will give you ample time to plan whatever that you want to do as a business person. So far, so good. Yeah.
So for you, on the matter of exchange rates, you say so far, so good. Inflation?
So far, so good. Yeah, inflation is coming down. But we say government business is to look at the taxes. We've seen a myriad of taxes that was imposed by the previous government that caused a lot of mess on the economy. This is what we need to address. So the stability of the city alone is not what is going to change the status quo. Now we need to look at the taxes that were imposed on us that made things go the way it went. So high inflation and other things. If we are not careful and we go the tangent that we are going, then of course we are going to go back to the same scenario as it were. So the problem as we have has not been addressed. What we want to see is some of the reduction of the corporate taxes, and then at the ports, some certain levies that we complained of will be taken off. If we're able to do that, that is where the Ghanaian, the ordinary consumer, will then feel the real impact of reduction in their pocket. Because what has happened is that the city as it is now, if you compare it to trade, all that we are doing is to stabilizing the currency. But what is graduating the impact of inflation, also the high cost of products, has not been addressed yet. So this is where we want to see in the mid-year budget, saying certain things will be announced in addressing these bottlenecks so that we can see the real impact. You saw when the petrol went down, certain things also went down. The cost of gas has gone down, which is a positive thing. The cost of fuel also went down. But unfortunately, when they announced the introduction of the 4 cities impact or the increase in fuel to mitigate certain losses that they are making in the energy sector, you realize that fuel has gone up, but it hasn't gone to where it was before at 18 cities where it came down to almost 11 cities or 10 cities. But it has gone to a point that if we are not careful and the cost of energy are going up in the international market, then there's going to be a problem where fuel will have to be increased maybe every 2 weeks or every week, or depending on how it happens. Then you'll see the transport cost going up. And once it happens, you can be rest assured that it will affect other sectors, especially things that are transported to certain areas. And that will be the determining factor. So when it happens like that, the trader has no choice than to increase the cost of their products. The manufacturer would then also have to look at what is going to happen. But I would have wished that we wouldn't have increased the cost of fuel. Because if it's about the energy sector, then there's a lot of money that is being made as I'm talking to you now. Let me give you, for example, you see when the PLC announced the increase of electricity cost, they based their calculation on 16.5%, 16.5 cedis. Now the cedi has come down to almost 10 cedis, 50 pesos. So what are they doing? It means that they have a windfall of almost about 7 cedis, which electricity energy is consumed more than fuel. So those of us who are paying for the electricity, we are paying 7 cedis more. So this means that they are making a lot of money from there. So if fuel should go up at all, in the event of what they have announced, that they are targeting certain areas like the energy sector, then of course an increment of 4 cedis wouldn't be necessary, or 1 cedi per liter wouldn't be necessary. But then maybe 50 pesos would have done the deal, because already they are making a lot of money at the electricity consumption. So that is how they should have looked at it. That's why I am disappointed in announcing an increase in this area. They should have gone up marginally. But for this increment, it's a lot.
You said in terms of the 1 cedi that was placed on a levy?
Yes, per liter.
Per liter.
So if you convert it into the way it is now.
Okay.
But what I want to understand is that the increments was it based on the existing tariffs that we had, or it was a fresh imposition of 1 cedi per liter? If it was adjustment that was made, then it shouldn't translate into 4 cedis, but maybe 2 cedis or 2 cedis 20 pesos or something like that. But if you look at the calculation per now, then it means that we are paying 1 cedi per liter for a liter of fuel, which is not the proper thing to do, because what we should have looked at is where the introduction of the increase of electricity went up. The calculation was done on 6 cedis. That is why I have called for they should look at the current situation as it is per the cedi, and then do their calculation again. But if they based that on the 16 cedis, 50 pesos, then that is most unfortunate. We have been searching for what has been done. And then recently, the announcement of also going up by 2.5%. I think there's something wrong here. We need to look at it and then make sure that this area we are not taking for granted if it comes to electricity increment or energy increment. So they need to go back and then look at that one. So it shouldn't be that because we have or they have the confidence of the Ghanaians, and we have accepted what is going on. We need to do something quickly to reverse certain things. So anything that comes, we need to take it. No, it's going to happen like that. It's not going to happen like that. We need to look at it practically, and then look at it that the Ghanaian is not short-changed.
I see. But aside that, I also realized that you are talking about corporate taxes. You're talking about import levies that need to. Which particular taxes are you looking at that you think government should be thinking of reviewing downwards?
Okay. You see, the previous government made an increment of sustainability increment of 25% after tax. So how much they were taking from your profits after tax were increased by another 25%. We need to look at that one and take it off. that the high cost of the original tax, which was introduced, it used to be around 35%, but it jumped up. It's almost about 60%. Now you look at the excise duty, which also went up. But for want of words, I would say for that, it has been stabilized. And it was meant to look at certain aspects of the economy where they think that manufacturers or importers were under-invoicing what they have to do. Now it's very clear what is happening. So we are moving on to the next step of the digital system, which the manufacturer will not have to pay for the cost of the sample, or the importer will have to pay for the cost of the sample, which for that we don't agree. So if the excise duty has been increased, then let us look at that one. It's gone up significantly. Now we look at the VAT system that we have. I have said, or it's a public knowledge now, that the VAT that we are paying, the same tax is being paid in three folds. So when you go to buy something in the market, you are paying almost 3 times the taxes that you are supposed to pay on the same item. That is why we have asked the minister to look at it. And he said he was going to rationalize it and let us look at the appropriate tax that has to be paid, meaning that this system is going to go down. The system of taxation, the VAT system now, is going to be changed. People then will have the opportunity to claim whatever they spend in advance. Because the meaning of that tax, the value-added tax, what it means is that it is when you are adding value to whatever you are producing or whatever you are selling that you add the VAT. But you don't take the VAT before. This is what we are facing now. When you go to the port and you import, every aspect of the calculation that will be done, they give you a tax component of VAT of 17.5%. When they move to the next step, the finality of it, they give you another tax of 17.5%. Then they have something that they call network charges. I don't know where they brought this from. They also charge another VAT on that one. So you see the multiple taxes of taxes that you are paying on one invoice. Then when you bring it to your warehouse, you also have to add another VAT. They said you should take back your money. But as you are adding that money, you are adding that VAT and taking it back, they are also taxing that one at the end of the sale that you make. So that has become threefold. If you look at the other system that they are also imposing, we have 3-tier tax system in the market now. We have 4%, we have 21.9%, we have another 17.5%, all the same VAT. Why should it be so? So what we need now is to bring it down. If we are all paying 4%, then all of us should pay the same 4%. It shouldn't be that you are operating from a different level, so you have to pay so much. So we are buying the same item from different sources. It means that depending on where you are buying from, you pay double taxation on that or triple taxation on that one, which is not fair. So we need to rationalize all these things and then look at it. The COVID tax that they imposed, I have said long before that when they brought that tax, what they should have done was to move that COVID tax onto the NHIL, so that at least we can raise enough money to take care of our health system. Unfortunately, that was not done. That money that was collected as COVID tax, I can tell you for a fact that they cannot be accounted for today. So why should we, or the Ghanaian, be imposed on all these things on us? Because if you look at the whole world, nobody has a COVID tax. So it's unfortunate that they bring such things on board and then they ask the Ghanaian, because anytime we need money, they look at the Ghanaian, oh, they can pay, let them pay. Or they look at the foreigners who are investing into this in this country, that oh, they are making a lot of money, so let us impose the taxes, let them collect, we will pay. It shouldn't be like that. we should have a system where we can earn a salary that we can save. Our salary should not take us home, and then the next day we go for salary advance. It is not fair. We should be able to save. We should be able to take care of the children. We should be able to pay for the electricity. We should be able to pay for the rent. We should be able to pay for the transport. As I'm talking to you now, people go to work, they don't eat at all. Unless in the afternoon they find something to eat, because if they dare eat 3 times a day or 2 times a day, their children will suffer, their rent will suffer, their electricity will suffer, their transportation will suffer. So this is what we need to look at. That is why I started by saying that if we are not careful, when the cedi drops so drastically, and the value of the cedi appreciates so drastically, what will happen is that government will find problem in sourcing money for payment for salaries, same as the private sector. So whatever that is happening, we should look at the gains that we have made on the cedi and how you can go to the market and buy certain things at a cheaper cost so that you can save some of your money. Otherwise, what is happening now is that you go to the market, the same value is in the market. Recently, when the city started appreciating, we were called upon to reduce certain things. We did that, but what will have the significant impact will be when government itself is able to reduce some of the taxes at the import section. Because one of the basic things that we have in this country that is giving us problems are the benchmark values. If we're able to take that one from there, then we come back and look at the manufacturing sector or the local sector, what actually is affecting the high cost of production that is making them uncompetitive. So if you're able to address that, it's not the benchmark value that will create the benchmark value will only mean a relief for the Ghanaian. And then we look at the cost of production. So when we're able to do that, you will see that even the 24-hour economy that is coming, where they expect that people will triple their production and all that, then, of course, we will have a proper meaning of incentive being given to the ordinary worker or the business person for them to be able to produce at a cheaper cost. You see. And the other thing that I've also seen on the 24-hour system that they are bringing on board is that when you produce at certain hours, electricity will be reduced for you. That would be most unfortunate. Otherwise, some of us will then have to wait and then produce at certain hours, which will mean nothing has been done. But we are producing at a cheaper cost. But the system of the 24-hour economy should run 24 hours so that we can have multiple shifts. But it shouldn't be that because when you produce at certain hours, you'll be getting certain incentives, and therefore I'll have to wait. I'll tell my workers to wait and then report to work at certain hours so that we can do our production. That shouldn't be the case. Let them produce. Electricity cost should be dropped for everybody, whatever incentive it is. Every manufacturer, every business person must benefit from. It shouldn't be like the system of 1D, 1F, when they force people to change their businesses into 1D, 1F, and then they give them money to do whatever they have to do. And meanwhile, they are same business. They only have to open another branch to make sure that that branch gets the money, and then the other one suffers for tax system. No,
okay.
It shouldn't be so.
Ms. Agri, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
And of course, after the media budget review, Friday, we'll take the opportunity to have a conversation with him on what he makes of what will be presented subsequently. And tomorrow, to spend some time opening the phone lines for you. Wanted to do it, but tomorrow, we'll do that tomorrow, open the phone lines for you to share with us your own expectations of the